Hello, everybody. Welcome to Profiling Evil by Mike King. I'm here with Chris McDonough and Buddy the dog. Chris, how you doing? Can't hear you, Chris. That's
What
good.
a day.
Yeah, we're getting another link for or another video for the blooper reel.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Boy, was that funny or what?
That was great. I think we're going to look at that maybe a little later. And to everybody that's here tonight, thank you for joining with us for choir practice tonight. While we're swinging into action here, I want to just redefine what choir practice is. So if you go back in time, choir practice was a period of time when law enforcement at the end of their shift would get together and they'd debrief. They'd talk about the things that happened, things that were emotional, things that weren't. For some people, it was a time to self-medicate with alcohol. For others, like guys like me and Chris, we were usually the designated drivers. So it was always the best part of the shift was to get together with people that you served in the trenches with. Chris, you got Buddy with you tonight. What's the deal?
So here's the deal. So we're getting a lot of notes about, where's Buddy, what's Buddy up to, and as you can tell, he's a cupcake. But what was really happening is he was running underneath my chair, and Tyler asked. He says, "Hey, what's that noise?" And I reached out and picked up Buddy. So here he is. Anyway. Mike, where are you, by the way? Where are you at today?
Hey, well, I'm going to tell you about. I saw this. Callie M said, "Hey, Mike, I refuse to pay for a subscription until you get Ty's head as one of the emojis." So I think Ty has earned it. Ty, get yourself some, big cool emoji, and to everybody who's signing in tonight already, it's really awesome to see you. Sophia, Sunny Austin, Rain, Sandra, thank you so much, everybody, for doing it. This is the night each day in the week that we have a lot of fun. And Chris, I'm sitting in LA, and
What?
you know that.
LA?
Yeah. I'm in a hotel. I've been here for a couple of days. I had to come in early to get some COVID tests. You and I were on Dr. Phil again today for another show that's going to be coming up soon. We can't talk about it other than they gave us permission to call out the good doc and talk about the fact that he's invited us back to investigate another case and to spend some time on the show. What did you think about the show today? Without
I thought it was
revealing anything.
No, we can't reveal anything. We're not going to reveal anything. But man, it was good. It was good, and it's going to be an exciting episode. And over the next couple of weeks, everybody will hear about it, and it'll be a lot of fun to catch up. He's a great guy. What a great guy. And of course, with Bud here on the case here today, I put a tweet out the other day, with Buddy sitting in the shadow, saying you have the right to remain silent, and he
you got a lot of folks responding to that, actually, didn't you?
Yeah, he's such a good dog. I mean, look at him. He's a Jack Russell. He's 6 years old. But most Jacks are like going 200 miles an hour, and he was, but now he's like, okay, I gotta relax for a little while. But anyway, we wanted to just give everybody an opportunity to see him again, and he says hi. He's got his emoji, his moji, uses moji, and anyway, I'm going to put him down here for a minute.
That's kind of embarrassing, actually. He's got an emoji, but Tyler doesn't, and
I know
Tim and Skylar don't have one. So I think we really do need to take care of the boys and get them hooked up. And in a minute, I'd like to just pull up. In fact, let's do it right now. I was just thrilled today. Again, Dr. Phil called out my new book.
Yes, he did.
Deceived, an investigative memoir of the Zion Society cult. Folks, if you haven't ordered it, please think about it. Go to profilingevil.com. And you can pre-order. This will be shipping by the end of December, 1st of January. And holy cow. I mean, the doc was really complimentary today. I think he finally made it through the whole book.
Yeah, he just finished. He says it's a page turner. So if we get a chance, our family here, get out there and get this going on Mike's book here, because it's a fascinating story. And of course, some of us know some of the inside story, but you really lay it out. You lay it out here.
Yeah, well, that's kind to say. It's a story for those kids who are now adults that are the victims of that horrendous sexual assault series that occurred. But let's kind of welcome a few folks on that are visiting from our family out here. Moonlight View, 77 MCI, Red Like Wine again, Stephanie Herb, to all of you. Thank you so very much for all you've done to support us thus far as we move forward. Folks, if there are any of you out there that haven't subscribed to our channel, would you please consider subscribing and hit that bell so that you get the notifications. And let's make sure. I don't know, Chris, did you see we got a new member, Crystal Jeffrey? So shouting out to her, and of course anybody, if you want the links to the book, just go down below, and it's choir practice, so we're going to do anything darn well pleased tonight.
Absolutely,
right?
We've got Maui Girl in the house here. We've got the Sarge is back, Mom Jeans and Crime Scenes, Miss Sophie, Robin W, Social Distancing 201. I love that one. Haven't heard of the Zion Society Church? Oh, you will, trust me. And what do we got here? Ann Anderson, hello. Four Sons and Mom, good to see you. Mike, what else has been going on? How have you been?
This is so weird. So in order to go on Dr. Phil, folks, you have to have 3 COVID tests 3 days in a row. So in the last month, I've had 6 COVID tests. So thankfully I can say I'm COVID free. We had a great day with Dr. Phil and team today. Chris and I were just thrilled to be back there and to participate. But I am so excited because we're throwing a wild curveball at you tonight. Oh, by the way, you see I'm dressed down. The Brooklyn Homicide guys said,
absolutely, love it.
Wear the shirt.
Love it.
So
that's a shout out to Duty Run right there.
There you go. And Chris, not you, Chris, but the other Chris from Homicide that sent me this, who I don't want to say his last name.
Sergeant Melinda, thank you.
But oh, thanks, Sarge. It's so awesome to see you on here.
Great to see you. Thank you so much. And
go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
No, I this is blooper territory, man.
Talk about bloopers. Okay, so let's put some context in that, right? So this is just what we do, right? I always look forward to. Thank you, Diane. We're grateful that you are here. We can't do it without you. We really appreciate you guys and your donations. We're grateful. But so that the blooper thing is, first of all, I think we need to put into context. We're doing a series on some pretty heavy stuff, and that was kind of like one of the last ones that we were doing. And man, it's heavy stuff. And old Tyler, he threw a curveball at us, didn't he? Because he pulled that together last night. We're like,
I think he was sick and tired of editing, and that was his way of lashing out at us.
Man,
and folks, we usually just fly off the cuff, as you all well know. but this topic was pretty heavy, and we felt like we needed to go through and make sure that we stay on track with quite a few things. But yeah, the blooper thing cracked us both up, and when Tyler said, "Do you want me to send it out?" and we both said no, and he sent it out anyway. So
yeah, no, we but by the way, so I think everybody gets a chance to see now, really, how our friendship has been for 30 years, and it's like, yeah, he's my brother. I mean, and what's really great is I don't think people really quite understand the depth that we get into sometimes. I mean, in terms of, some of the things that we've seen, some of the places we've been, and, humor is, I mean, it's a critical piece, right, Mike?
Oh, I'll say, in fact, folks, Chris and I met in the middle of a serial killer investigation. Chris was investigating a serial killer named Brandon Wilson in Southern California. I was looking at a case in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
And we were talking, and I just finished watching Chris's amazing interview. If you can go back and watch where he interviews and gets this killer to act out how he commits this assault. But there's one particular point, folks, that I just had to pick up the phone and call Chris when I'm watching, because Chris had set a pen down on a table, and then he a second later picked it up, and I called him. I said, "Dude, tell me about the pen." Chris,
it was crazy.
About the pen.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, this guy had me and he pulled my neck back, and because he was demonstrating how he, took the life of this poor victim. And in my shirt pocket, Mike says, "Hey, did you see you had your pen?" I was like, wow. Yeah, no, thanks. Appreciate that. But, could have been one of those days. And thank goodness, the good Lord kept an eye on me that day. So that's good. So, and shout out, we have a new member here, Crystal. And then let's hear Crystal. Let me see if I can get her name. I saw her go by here. Crystal Coffrey, thank you so much for becoming a new member. We're grateful.
Crystal Jeffrey, we called her out.
Jeffrey, you did.
There we go.
Okay, well, there's another one for the blooper reel.
That's right. Perfect. That's what we do. So I am so excited, folks, because tonight
what do we got?
We get literally hundreds of emails a week, and we try to read them all and think them through. And by the way, Chris, a really nice shout out to Karen about the book, and Sonny, thank you so much for that kind donation. But last week we had one of our family members reach out, and I'd like to bring her in. Just let's get right to it. Let me introduce you all to Gloria Beal, who is one of the most delightful women I think I have ever met. So hopefully, Gloria, you have your audio on and you can hear us. We don't know if you can hear us yet or not. And perfect. Chris, Miss Bill is one of the most amazing women I've ever met. She raised her family in a horribly rough area in Columbus, Ohio. She was I would say I don't know, maybe she'll even admit to it, but a pistol packing mama who wasn't going to be bullied by anyone in that community. And she raised a beautiful daughter who's gone on to work in national government. And she is just so incredibly proud. And I thought, let's just bring her on and let everybody meet her. So Gloria, say hello to everyone. And why don't you just tell them a little bit about yourself and where you raised your family and how you made a difference in such an interesting circumstance.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be with you. I will give you a very abbreviated snapshot. 1971, let's go back to 1971, Attica prison break. At that time, my boss, Robert V. Engel, said, "You're going to Attica and you're going to look at the film, 35 millimeter. You're going to look at the film and you're going to pick out something suitable for the cover." That magazine, ladies and gentlemen, was Newsweek magazine. Now, I was a cover associate, and how I got there that's another story, and I'll share that at some point. But they ordered a limousine, took me to the airport, flew me wherever the heck we were going, had a suite and all this good stuff. And I had all my credentials. When I walked into the television studio, it was almost like they were like, "Oh my God, Newsweek's here." And I'm like, "Newsweek ain't here. I'm here. It's just me. Me. What? I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm just a gopher. Don't freak out." But it was funny, but I had a job to do. But it amused me because people sometimes get starstruck for the wrong reasons, and it doesn't work out that way.
So what happened? Yeah. So what happened?
What happened is I picked out the film. a jazz artist, Stanley Turrentine, was in
Oh
town.
yeah, famous,
And
famous.
somebody gave me tickets or what have you. And the next thing I know, I'm, having a little libation, enjoying the evening, enjoying the music. And I've got holding tight this film that I picked out that I'm hoping my boss likes. And by God, I took it back to Newsweek, 444 Madison Avenue on the 13th floor, handed it in, and the film that I brought back to my boss is what turned out to be the cover for Newsweek when the Attica prison riot took place.
Prison riot, yeah.
Prison riot was
Yes, ma'am.
international news. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. And
That is
that's New York.
interesting.
It
Now, Gloria,
go ahead.
you are a fixture. You're a fixture in Columbus law enforcement. Whenever you see a police officer, you make sure to go over and tell them what you think about them and hug them, and tell us a little bit about your community and why you are, or yeah, what an activist you are in your community.
Well, I volunteer, and my volunteering has been focused with police matters in community. And I'm very much a proponent of communication. I'm very much a support person, civilian support person for our law enforcement. And I've worked with them very, very closely over some years, to include working on some things that were unsavory, shall we say, dangerous. And I was asked one time by somebody I was working with, what are you doing this for? What's in it for you? I'm like, dude, I don't like bad people. I don't know how else to tell you. I just don't. I love everybody. I found out early in life that one person, one smile, one soft spoken word can make a difference in somebody's day. It's powerful. It's powerful. So that was Attica, 1971. From there, I went to, let me think. I went to California with a then love interest who was in show business. And that's a whole nother story. When you get to California, I'm from New York originally, right? I'm New York, okay? I'm from New York originally. Corona, Queens. Beautiful interracial community full of Italians and Blacks and West Indians and all kind of folk. All right. So I was like, I'm used to being around different kinds of people. Went to California and everybody was a star, darling. I'm like, what? What's wrong with folks? I was like, what is wrong with you? I mean, anyway, I learned to laugh first at myself and then everything else to get me through some difficult times. Came back wound up in Columbus on vacation with my friend. She and I were doing some modeling in New York. This is years ago, pounds ago. And she goes, hey, come on, I'm going home. I'm like, where's home? She goes, Columbus. I'm like, what's a Columbus? That was 75. By 1976, we were in the bicentennial. And the community I was living in was 10,000 people, population, 1975, southeastern Ohio, in the heart of Klan country, in the heart of John Birch Society. So little old me, I'm there on a vacation. I'm like, hey, I'm not going back to New York. I march up to the police department. I'm like, hey, do you guys have any Black people around here?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, you don't know. The Bible says you have not because you ask not. I'm like, okay. So the guy was like, yeah. I said, well, where are they? He said, well, they live on that side and the white folks live on that side. I'm like, what? I said, well, do you have any openings? Because I'm in the police station. I'm a candidate for the police academy in New York, waiting for them to get the money together to start the class and what have you. I'm like, hey, I can't wait for New York. I can do this. And I said, do you have any openings? And he said, we don't have no niggers, and we don't have no women, and we don't need none.
Really?
Well, yeah. So I was like, well, I know you have to have a civil service test. And he said, yeah. I said, all right, I'll catch you on the fly. So,
Ha ha ha.
so it was wonderful. I met some of the most incredible people from all over, and finished the course, did very, very well. Ohio Peace Officers training, had all of that and did very well. And the me that I was, well, I'm kind of still like that. The me that I marched back to the police department. I'm like, hey, remember me? There's my certificate. And he was like, what? And all I would get, because it's Gloria Jean, but people that know me call me the Grandma Jeannie or just Jeannie. He said, Jeannie, you are nuts. I'm like a fox is the chief end. And that was the beginning. The first Black, the first female in the history of Hocking County.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Oh, honey, I had a ball. All the wives and girlfriends were upset. The guys, it was all fellas. So I was in seventh heaven, all these big, tall, strong men. I was like,
I love it.
It was, we went on stakeouts, we did what we do. But the funny part was they were having trouble at home because, well, why are you riding with Jeannie? Can't she ride by herself? When you see a Black woman start doing the chicken neck, look out, because she's trying to make
you got problems. You got problems coming quickly. It's on. It's on. It's on. No doubt about it. It's like,
man,
when you see that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when my mom would do that, y'all, remember Satchel Paige, the great Black baseball player?
Absolutely.
He was the one famous for saying, hey, don't look back, because feet don't fail me now. Don't look back, because something might be gaining on you. When I saw my mother's neck do like that, and she said my whole name, my whole entire name.
Yep. It's like Moses parting the sea.
You got that right. But I laugh. I'm laughing, gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen, and those of you in the audience. I'm laughing because I am free of the trauma and the darkness and the frightening things that occurred in my childhood. And what I'm showing you, what I'm demonstrating for you and to you, I hope, is that you can get past just about anything if you put your mind to it. You can rise above just about anything. Long story short, after that momentous occasion in Logan, Ohio, I had a buddy, and she said, hey, my husband's the sheriff down in Athens. Why don't you come down here and hang out with us? I'm like, I got enough hanging out up here that's driving me nuts. But I went to Athens, got on with the sheriff's department. Gary and Betty Efaw, you can look them up. That was the married couple. And stayed with them for a hot minute. And then I'm like, let me seek my fame and fortune in Columbus. I want to go to Columbus PD. Passed the physical, passed the written, passed the polygraph, passed all that stuff. Got a Dear John letter. Dear Gloria, we regret to inform you. And I'm like, what? What? It's like they were saying, you have now, I think I was 33 at that point. And like, you have reached the age at which, you're over the age. And if they had the money that had been appropriated by city council, I would have gotten in. But they couldn't start the class. I had a birthday And that was the end of that. And I was devastated because I knew I was good. I knew I was good. And I knew what my forte was, which is, I gather information. And so I decided to, then I fell in love and got married, and I was 35 by that time. And then I was still working with some of my friends in the department as a civilian, just as a civilian. So it wasn't affiliated, couldn't get affiliated. And I came upon someone high in government who was planning to do some things that were nefarious, put it that way.
Sure.
So I made a phone call. Y'all need to get on this. They're like, Jeannie, what? I'm like, honestly, seriously, y'all get on this. If I made a phone call, they knew I wasn't kidding around. I said, okay, I need you. That means, step it up. So I made the phone call, and this precious, precious man, such a lovely Christian man. He great guy, police officer, detective, just a great guy, but not somebody you want to meet if you're not doing what you're supposed to. But he was like, okay, what do you got? So I told him. We mobilized. A whole big hubbub went down. And this person that was in government wound up escaping prosecution because they told him, shut up and leave town or else. Shut up and leave town or else. This was a person of color. This was a Black person. Okay? My thing is this. I love everybody. I don't like bad people. I really don't care if you're polka dot. But if you come at me sideways, know what you're doing. That's how I am. That's how I've always been. So I've jumped around a lot of stuff gone on, a lot of fascinating stories. One of them is, I was telling somebody recently that all these guys that I dated in show business, they're like dead. And so my friend said, did you give them a warning?
So is the moral of the story, don't date you, Gloria? Is that what's going on here?
No. What it is, see, as the kids say, the kids want to tell you, see, what had happened was they didn't take care of themselves. They lived that fast life, eating whatever kind of junk you want to eat, staying up late, not resting, drinking, whatever. It's a funny world when you get good around show business people. They're a different breed. But I kind of like watch stuff. So like, I'm 75 and they ain't. Like the president said, I'm the president and they ain't. I'm 75 and they ain't. They ain't here no more. But there's a lot of things that I will say this, because I know that you've got other guests. And I don't want to overstay my welcome, but I will say this. If I wondered why there were times I should have been dead, there were times that I had to really use my brain in order to survive. And that's because there was no going back. When you're kicked out in New York at age 16, you just graduated high school, you've got jacked, you've got nothing. And your eyes as big as, like, you look like those kids, those little monsters, not little monsters, but those little cartoon kids with the big eyes like that. Everything has your eyes going like that. Everything. I mean, everything. Some of the places I wound up, some of the people I wound up with that were not on the up and up, they had hidden agendas. And the only thing, I won't say the only thing, but I'll say God in his infinite wisdom, he gave me something inside of me that just doesn't, I just don't get scared. I get angry. You know what I mean? I there's a whole different side of me to which my young daughter, she's grown up now, but she could attest. I was coming down the stairs one day and she was telling some of the kids, they were over in between some kind of a game. Oh, you think Osama bin Laden is bad? Don't let my mom's smile fool you. And I'm like, Ralphie, don't say stuff like that, because she goes, why? It's true. I said, you'll have the Secret Service up in here, girl. You can't be talking like that. But I'm saying that whatever the issues are, whatever the challenges are, whatever the setbacks and disappointments have been, and there have been plenty, there is a plan for your life. There's a reason you are where you are, and there's a reason we're all here together this evening, thanks to these two wonderful gentlemen and their most generous invitation. Whatever that you've gone through, see, I can tell you this. I've got street cred. I'll talk to the president of a bank, or I'll talk to the kid on the corner, or somebody in a nod over there. Doesn't matter to me. But that's what all of the things that I've gone through have done. And I ask God, why did you let me be born into this horrible family? They're so mean. They're so mean. How could prejudice exist when these are Black people that look like me and they treat me like this? So they cured me of prejudice. That's what I mean. Seriously, I was like, Black people treat me like this? What are they talking about? Y'all, what? I was like, what? Yeah. And I've been like this my whole life. They're like, oh, something's wrong with you. I'm like, yeah, I ain't going down the road you all are.
You know, we adore you. And, you know, what I have a thought that says, you know, we don't get to choose our color, but we get to choose our character.
Amen. That's true.
And you are an example of character, young lady. Thank you. And you have absolutely set this channel on fire tonight. And we're grateful that you have been here. And we're very grateful that you came on. And we don't want to, I personally, I could sit here for the next 15 hours and listen to you, because like you said, you got street cred. I can only imagine, you know, what some of that means in totality.
Well, I would like for you all to entertain what I consider my major pet peeve. Okay?
Yeah.
I want to know why nobody is putting accountability on the parents who produce the young people that I'm not working at now, I'm not affiliated now, but the young people that we wind up having to deal with in the most critical times of their lives. Why isn't the parent or the person who's doing the screaming and the hysterics and the accusations, why isn't somebody saying, hey, what did you teach that kid? What did you teach that kid? Because what you taught that kid by your deeds, by your actions, by your inattention, by your voice, your verbal accusations against authority and law enforcement, you taught that kid how to go out and get killed. That's what I would like to say to some of them. When I hear, oh, police brutality, I'm like, I watch so much film. I've done it over years and years and years and years. I watch so much film, and I'm like, the moment that there's an opportunity for a civilian to interact peaceably with a law enforcement officer, he or she does the hysteric thing. And if you're hysterical, that's telling me you don't hear me, you don't see me, you are in panic, it's an adrenaline rush, you are dangerous to yourself and to me. What does that mean? You and I, you guys, we know what the force continuum is. Just like that. Yeah. Just like that.
I'll tell you what, Gloria, you have captivated hearts. I don't know if you can see the stream, but people are loving you. So here's the commitment. You have to come back someday. Will you do that?
Well, sure. I mean, well, I'll tell you this, and then I'm gonna go. Ralphie, my daughter said, this was some years ago. My daughter said, "Oh, mommy, you got a gray hair." I said, "Girl, and every one of them got your name on it."
Exactly.
So,
all right.
So
there you go.
I gotta go. You guys gotta go. God bless you.
Thank you
so much for this invitation and for allowing me to share.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
There is nothing that we can't. Thank you so much. There's nothing we can't talk about. So don't be afraid, any of you, to broach a subject that heretofore has been non-verbally communicated to you that it's off limits. With you, if you ask me, and my daughter's me on steroids, make sure you want the answer, because I'm not going to dress it up.
All right.
God bless you.
Gloria
Thank
Beal,
you.
we love you. Thank you so
Love
much.
you back.
We look forward to having you back. Have a good evening,
Thank
dear.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, how amazing is that? What an amazing woman.
Yep. Universe
Chris,
is on schedule.
there are some people who are complaining about some buffering problems. So I want to bring in Tim from the back office and tell us what we're going to do to restart. Or Tyler, if you can come in. What do
I
we
think
need
it's
to
been
do to
resolved, Mike. It may
keep
have been
everybody
resolved.
on tact? I don't know. I'm getting mixed signals. So
If you give us a thumbs up if it's still buffering, if it's not buffering, can you give us a thumbs
I'm going to
up?
bring Tyler in.
All right.
All right, Tyler, tell us what we're doing so that we don't lose folks and we get back to business quickly.
Yeah, we're going to just restart this, but we'll put the link in the comment